Hello and welcome to another edition of Conspirator Brock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of January 23rd, 2019, so let's get right into it. First up we have Aquaman number 44. What can I say about this? Kelly Sue DeConnick is writing it. Issue 43 was not the best after getting a really decent amount of Aquaman titles from the Rebirth stuff. This one is just kind of out of left field. It really feels like what happened when Venditti took over after Jeff Johns' run on Green Lantern. So I'm not sure if it's gonna stay that way and just not be but we'll see. So who knows? Next up we have a Batman 63. Love Tom King. Love his Batman. Oh, it's so amazing. Can't wait to read it. And John Constantine is making an appearance. Cool stuff. Next up we have the Curse of Brimstone Annual number 1. It's Curse of Brimstone. It's whatever. DC New Age of Heroes. Most of the line has officially been canceled. So Curse of Brimstone is basically done very soon. The only title that is sticking around from that is the Terrifics, which means that the next book, Damage, is also on the chopping cancellation block. So Damage is going as well. But I've enjoyed Damage. Curse of Brimstone, they're okay. Nothing grandiose, nothing I'd be like, you need to read this. But they're at least fun reads. Next up we have Robert Kirkman's Die number 7. Violence and blood and all that stuff are in that book, and it's just super crazy. So yeah. Next up we have Freedom Fighters number 2 of 12. This is basically a maxi series, and I really enjoyed the first issue. Robert Venditti really did a great job at capturing the world and setting it up, and I can't wait to see what happens in the rest of the series. Next up we have Justice League number 16, Scott Snyder and Tyrion IV. They've just been hitting it out of the park with Justice League. It's been super good. If you have not yet checked it out, I do highly recommend Justice League. It is fantastic. Next up we have Live Wire number 2. Valiant's relaunching a lot of their books, starting books over, kind of running miniseries, so I'm not too sure what they're doing with their line, but it's still decent, so I'm still picking them up. But I enjoyed the first issue of Livewire, so yeah. Next up we have another Robert Kirkman book, and that is issue 38 of Outcast. I believe this series is coming to an end soon. I've enjoyed it. It's definitely a very slow burn. I know that TV people like the TV show, but I haven't even checked it out yet. So next up we have Shazam number 2. Jeff Johns is writing, but the Eagles, I don't remember. The other artist is no longer drawing it. He's solicited to draw this issue, 3, 4, and 5, but apparently he's not, because his name's not on the book. So, yeah. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But it's Johns, and Shazam is awesome. So, next up we have Teen Titans number 26. Adam Glass has been doing a really good job with this this team lineup. I've been really enjoying Teen Titans, so I'm really curious to see what happens, and apparently they're going to get busted by Batman, so yeah. Next up is Teen Titans Go number 32. This collects digital issues or chapters 63 and 64. I just pick it up because my kids like Teen Titans Go, and it's just a fun, cute read. So. Next up is The Wildstorm number 19. I have no idea what's going on in this book when I read it, but I read it and enjoy it, so I keep going with it. So yeah, who knows what's going on in that book? It's one of those books you pick up, you read, you're like, all right, I'll read the next issue, and then you forget completely what happened. You're like, I don't even know what happened, but I'm going to read the next issue. So yeah. And finally on my pull list is Exo Manowar number 23. It's a really great series. Love Exo Manowar. Glad it's still chugging along. I did pick up something to read. I know I haven't done a reading list in a while, but we had plenty of extra copies, so I'm going to check out Jason Aaron's Conan the Barbarian number 1. So I'm really curious to see Jason Aaron's take on Conan. I haven't really read too much Conan, but I've really enjoyed Jason Aaron's Star Wars stuff, and if that is any indication of how good Conan's going to be, Jason Aaron really does put a lot into the stuff that he really enjoys, and his Star Wars stuff was really, really good. So curious to see how good Conan is. I did pick up some variants this week. First up is Aquaman 44. The inside might not be the best, but I do love the covers. So yeah. Tony Daniel did the cover for Batman 63. So if you want to snag that one up, you should. Justice League 16 had a pretty cool variant, so I grabbed that one as well. And we have Kid Flash as the variant for Teen Titans 26. So I decided to pick that one up as well. Did get some graphic novels this week. The first one is The Problem of Susan and Other Stories from Neil Gaiman and P. Craig Russell. This collects a couple, what is this? What does this collect? This collects 2 stories and 2 poems. So yeah, and they're basically turned into comics. So really curious to see how this one turns out. I like a lot of the random straight to graphic novel stuff that comes out from Neil Gaiman. So yeah. Next up is a franchise that basically changed hands, and that is Sons of Anarchy. This is Sons of Anarchy, the Legacy Edition, Book 1. This collects issues 1 through 6 and 8 through 14 of Sons of Anarchy, the comic book series. I read the series when it first came out, and I really enjoyed it. I love the show, so it's really nice to see stuff that goes into that universe and adds to that universe. So I never got through a lot of it, because I was like, I'll just wait for a trade, and then I didn't pick up the trades, and then it went to a different company. But they're releasing these nice Legacy editions. They're a little pricey for my taste. $30 for roughly 13 issues was a little but I can't wait to dive into Sons of Anarchy. I did get a couple of special orders this week. The first is a t-shirt. I know, t-shirts are so rare now. There's been so many t-shirt cancellations. I place an order for a t-shirt, and I'm like, if it comes in, it comes in. If it doesn't, whatever. So I did pick up the Batman Damned shirt for cover of the first issue there. The back of the shirt has the Batman Damned on it. So yeah, love me some Batman. Batman Damned is really good. Black Label should be really good. What are you doing, DC? Like, you're screwing things up. Black Label's a good idea for a line of comics, and you're, like, not doing anything with it except slapping it on reprinted trades, and yeah, sore spot. And I did get, I finally got my Christmas order in for some Christmas. I use them as decorations, but there's some Star Wars Pops that came out, Christmas editions, and 5 came out in this line, and my kids love having Pops. We have a couple of Christmas Groots that they like to put up in their rooms for Christmas and stuff. So I got some Star Wars ones. The first one is the Yoda. I previously, I think, showed you guys one that I got, which was the C-3PO, which is right here. So yeah, so I got Yoda, I got C-3PO, and then of course there's a nice little R2-D2 with some antlers and some lights on his thing, and apparently I guess Chewbacca is the one that's strung the lights because he's having some difficulty there with the lights. And of course there is a nice little Vader with a candy cane lightsaber. So yeah, I was hoping I would get these before Christmas, but ordering Pops through Diamond basically guarantees that you're not going to get it when you want it. Actually, pretty much almost ordering anything through Diamond and expecting it to be on time for a holiday season. Not a good way to go about ordering stuff from Diamond. So, but these will be ready for next year. And I can't wait to display them and let my kids decorate with them. So that's it for this week. It's a 5-week month, so next week is still it's still another week in January, so we're going to get 5 weeks. Previews will be out next week. I know the DC solicitations went up, and I checked out a couple of things on there, but I will have previews here for you to check it out. But yeah, definitely one of those things you want to flip through and yourself to see if there's anything coming out that you want. I do want to plug a comic that's coming out and let your local comic shop know to order it. Initial orders are due. I think, tomorrow on Thursday, because it's from the January previews, which is the 394 previews. But it is basically for a comic that sounds really interesting, and I'm curious to check it out. I can't remember who the publisher was. That's the one problem. Oh yeah, there we go. The publisher is a new publisher called Impact Theory, and they're coming out with a book called Neon Future. It's right here in the Previews magazine. They have all 3 covers available. You can order one, 2, or all 3. It is written by Jim Krueger and various, but Jim Krueger is best known for, I think, Justice. It was really good stuff from DC. So I'm really curious to see this book and check it out. It comes out in March, so FOC is not up on it yet, but your store can still place an order for it. So ask your store if they can place an order for a copy of Neon Future #1 for you. It's definitely something sci-fi people will enjoy. But yeah, I'm really curious. I placed my order, so you should check it out as well. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're picking up. All that wonderful stuff. If you have questions, go ahead and post them there. I try to get to them on a regular when I can, but I'm a busy guy with being a single father, so sometimes that's a little difficult. So bear with me, and thank you for bearing with me. There was a great article written by Kevin Sharp. If you want to read, I'll put a link in the description below. But he interviews Ryan Higgins, the owner of the Comics Conspiracy in Sunnyvale, and he also interviewed James Sim, who owns Isotope Comics in San Francisco, about what it's like to own a shop and run a shop and all that stuff. So if you want a nice article an interview article on Shop Talk, definitely check it out. There'll be a link in the description below for that. Yes, I am shamelessly plugging the comic store. Oh well, that's where I work. Job security. Yeah. If you want to listen to me as a little bit more, you can listen to the Comics Conspiracy podcast. We just recorded episode 385, where we talk some December sales charts that were corrected, and other stuff. We answer some listener questions. We talk about George Perez's retirement on there as well. So check out the video, or check out the podcast. There is a link in the description below, so go ahead and find it down there. You can help me and my fellow conspirators out through Patreon at www.patreon.com/comicsconspiracy. For as little as $1 a month, you help us with hosting fees, getting food sometimes before the podcast, and getting products. So thank you very much to all our Patreon backers. It helps out immensely. And yeah, keep it coming. If you want to help me out a little more directly, if you're on my website, conspiratorbrock.com, and you click on any of the links to Amazon purchases, I get a little cut there. Or you can head over to the page where I sell it on eBay, where I sell stuff. There's a link in the description below for that. So anybody who's bought stuff from me, thank you very much. It does help out a lot. So that's it for this week. Fairly week. We'll see how big next week is. But being a 5th week, I'm not sure, but probably a bunch of annuals and random stuff is going to come out. So yep. Oh, and also for those of you who are interested, Comics Conspiracy has up pre-orders for Detective Comics 1000. We are selling sets of the 10 main covers and the blank cover, or the 10 main variants, I should say. So it's the main cover, the blank, and then the 9 decade variants. So there'll be a link in the description below for that. You can check that out. In addition to that, we are also selling the cover set and the Detective Comics Celebration hardcover book that's coming out as well. So if you want both, there's a pre-order for that as well. So links in the description below. Check that out. Pre-order your copies of Detective Comics 1000 is always the best way to go. Yeah, if you order it through us and it's going to be mailed, I will be the one most likely packing it and shipping it out to you. So appreciate all the support, and I'll see you next week.